It's about 5 months to one of the most critical and keenly contested election in Nigeria. Hello and welcome to Standpoint. I am Precious Amayu. Now, in a matter of weeks, the ban on political campaigns will officially be lifted by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Now, while other parties can concentrate their energies on shaping up their campaign strategies, same might not be the case for the People's Democratic Party. Now, the PDP is embroiled in an internal battle that threatens the very soul of the party and its chance to wrestle power from the governing All Progressives Congress. Now, efforts to make peace between the PDP's presidential aspirant, Iyorchia Ayu, and Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike after the conduct of the party's presidential primary has so far proved abortive. The crisis seems to have gotten worse now, with Governor Wike and the PDP national chairman, Iyorchia Ayu, engaging in a war of words over demands by the governor that the chairman resigns his position. What is the way forward for the PDP? A lawyer and member of the PDP, Tunji Abdulhammed, joins me now. Good to have you join us.
Thank you for having me.
You and I were having a conversation just before we came on air. And I think it's the same stance with every member of the PDP. Just that body language that seems as though you all don't believe that there is internal wranglings and crisis within your party. But let me ask you, because it seems to have gotten messier. Now it is now Wike. It was just Wike who was speaking all along and about how aggrieved he is. But now it looks like there is a trading of words between the governor and your national chairman. Speak on that.
I think yes, there is disagreement. Yes, there is a difference of interest and dichotomy in the way and manner things are done. But I will not agree that that is a major problem. It is not major because PDP as a party, they have a mechanism to resolve internal crisis, and I assure you it will be resolved. You remember when before the national convention of the party to choose a chairman of the party or the secretary of the party, you remember there was crisis like that as well. The removal of a secondary or not removed. They were able to resolve it, and the election went freely. So as far as I'm concerned, there is a difference of interest. There is disagreement. There is not major to destabilize the party.
At first, we thought that this issue was just because of the presidential primaries that your party held, and how Wike felt aggrieved and betrayed by some members of your party. And then it also then looked like how the presidential candidate picked his vice presidential running mate. But now it also seems as though there is the issue of the national chairman resigning. What exactly is the bone of contention in your party?
Yeah, according to those who want the chairman to resign, Governor Wike, for instance, is one of them, who has been claiming that, look, he's fighting for people because he's saying there cannot be, the presidential candidate cannot be from the north, why the chairman will also be from the north. Yes, he may be correct in a way, but as it is today, it was not deliberately done. It's by coincidence because there was an election for the chairmanship position. He won. In fact, Governor Wike is one of those who was one of those who gave a full support to the current chairman. You know, the issue is that yes, truly, Governor Wike is pained, probably because of the way and manner the deputy vice president was picked. He was expecting that if at all he will not be picked, he should be given he should be contacted. Yes, right. But it's not about when you have disagreement with the party, you don't have to go ahead and start making statements that will affect the interests of the party. But I also not expect the chairman to make any response in that regard, the way he made it, call them children or something like that. But the demand is very difficult. You know, they say one of the reasons why one of the demands that will make them step down their grievances is for the chairman to go. Yes, if the chairman should go today, the person that will still take the position of the chairman is the deputy vice chairman that comes from the throne of the party, of the current chairman. That is what consensus is. If you look at section 45(2) of the PDP constitution, where a chairman resigns or is removed, the deputy chairman that comes from his region or part of his own will be the one to act as acting chairman, pending when a new convention will be held. And as it is today, there is no way we are preparing for election. It will be unfair. It will not be reasonable for us to say they want to do another convention to elect a chairman. So in other words, if the chairman resigns today, the person that will still take the place of the chairman is still from the north. So,
but let's look at this, whether your party is positioned rightly, and this is one of the grievances of Governor Wike. The fact that you have your presidential candidate from the north, even though there were a lot of conversation about zoning to the south before your primaries was held, but that has been held. And then you have your BOT chairman from the north. You have your the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum from the north. And then you have your your national chairman also from the north. And so one would have thought that once you have your presidential candidate from the north, that there should be some sort of rearranging of the structure of your party to ensure that there is some level of equity. Is that too much to ask when coming from Governor Wike?
it's not that simple. Just like I said earlier on. It's not that simple. If you remove the chairman today, or if he resigns today, like I said earlier on, the person that will still take his position, pending when an election will be conducted, will still be from the north.
But didn't the chairman himself, sorry, the national chairman himself, absolutely saying that, he said earlier on that if the presidential candidate comes from the north, that he would naturally just resign, just so somebody else steps in. So why is that so difficult to do now?
I am not
if that is
aware
a
of that.
promise that he made earlier.
I'm not aware of that promise. Maybe I'm not aware of it. So I only know whether, and even if he made the promise, you see, if he's running today, our candidate, President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, is still a candidate. He hasn't won election. So if you say he should resign now, and then eventually, God forbid, that our candidate not win, what happened to his position?
You can decide to hold another national convention.
Will it be given back to him?
I can't decide on what your party does. But, this is the point I'm trying to make, that he had made that statement and people are waiting for him to honor it, especially because you also have your party structure now skewed towards the north. When you look at how most of your votes come from the south. And people are thinking that if you did not zone your presidential candidacy to the south, that your structure should not also be tilted towards the north. Shouldn't that be, how do you think that it should then be rearranged, whether it's from the national, the Governors Forum, PDP Governors Forum to the BOT chairman and the national chairman? Shouldn't at least one of them, at least two of them decide that they will step down?
Like I said, if I thought they would step down, any of them, forget it, the presidential candidate will not step down. Those that may likely step down is either the BOT chairman or the the chairman of the party. And like I said, if the chairman resigns today, it will cause a lot of crisis again, because the chairman goes today and a new convention is head, and the person that comes in is from the south. The secretary will also go because it's from the south. So many other positions will have to go, and that will be issue. So they have a mandate. They have a 4-year mandate. Yes, there's a problem. They will find a way around it. Like I said, after the election, this issue can be raised. They can likely organize a new convention whereby all the thing will be rearranged. But as it is today, it will create more crisis for the party to say, chairman, go now, because we want to put an acting chairman.
And which is more important
from the north.
Let's not forget that Wike's support for, and whether he's willing to work with your presidential candidate is predicated on this particular issue, the fact that the chairman should resign. And so, which is more important for your party, to get the structure from the south to work for your party, or that the chairman stays on?
Governor Wike would definitely not destroy the party he contributed to build. He was part of those who built the party. So he would definitely, I know, Governor Wike that I know will not destroy the party he built.
He has said, let me just remind you of what he said, that if the national chairman of the party, and I'm just paraphrasing, if the national chairman of the party wants the party to lose, he would help him lose. And so he's already positioned in a way that says, look, until you step down, I am not willing to work for your party. But you all seem to be hinging on the fact that you are believing that, oh, he's not going to leave the party. He's always been loyal to the party. How long do you think that loyalty will stand for?
You see, the issue is this. With due respect to Governor Wike, in 2019, Governor Wike was fully in support of the party. Despite that, the Rivers State, PDP won in Rivers State, but we were not able to win the election. So if today again, if 2022, I'm not saying if 2023, but it may likely come to that end, whereby they will say, okay, let's ignore Governor Wike and let him do whatever he wants to do. If he decides to do that, there are other people in the Rivers State that are other stakeholders. He may have major votes, he may control those who will vote majorly. But there are other people, stakeholders there, who also contribute. And as it is today, we have APC, we have SDP, we have PDP. So they also have their structure, and some of them, so it will be scattered. So I think Governor Wike will not do that because he knows
Let's go back to the earlier statement you made. You talked about if he decides to leave, it's just Rivers State. You have 9 governors in the South. PDP has 9 governors in the South, and then 5, I think, in the North. Out of those 9 governors in the South, every time you see Governor Wike in a meeting with anyone, you see that you have someone like Governor of Abia State, Miazu, you have the Governor of Benue State, Otom, and then you have the Governor of Oyo State, Makinde. It already shows you that these are loyalists. You received Shekarau to your parties some days ago. Wike wasn't present. Some of these governors were not also there. It shows you where the loyalty lies. And so when you say that just Wike, are you also considering that do you have a governor in the east who this also affects, a governor in the north, and then a governor in the southwest?
When Shekarau was received, how many governors did you see there? It was a party affair. It's not about the governors or whatever. The party ESCO were there, and they are the one to receive him, and that has been done. You see, the issue is that, yes, I agree, the Governor Wike is fundamental to the party in terms of contribution, in terms of controlling a vote in Rivers State. It will be better. A politician doesn't, a political party will not be willing to lose a vote. They will be willing to get more. So, and I believe those people you mentioned, they will also come back later, because I know Governor Otom is contesting election. Governor Makinde is contesting election. They will not want to say we are leaving the party now, or they will now go ahead and say vote for me, but don't vote for. It will cause a lot of confusion. They will not do that. Those
elections happen on 2 different Saturdays.
Yes, I know.
And then they have a hold of their state. I don't think that the national has anything to do with what happens in their state. Isn't it the national that requires them to work for them and not the other way around?
You know, the way it works in Nigeria is this: once a party wins the presidential candidate, you will see the other result to follow. The party that won the presidential candidate, other people, election will be affected. Because everybody wants to belong.
It hardly follows in that manner. I know that we do the presidential and the national assembly at the same time, and then Nigerians just basically vote for whatever party they vote for in the national assembly for the presidency, for the national assembly, and then also the state assembly and the governor as well. But it doesn't really follow that it is who you vote for as president that that party will also win in that particular state. If not, I'm very sure APC will be. I mean, all the states in Nigeria will be APC states, but it doesn't work that way.
No, not really. I agree with you that it doesn't work that way. But from what is on ground, the way things have been done before now, it will have effects on most of the states. It will definitely have effects. Once a candidate emerges as a president of the country under a particular party, it will have an effect on the other elections. So what I'm saying is that, look, yes, I agree, we have internal crisis. Yes, I agree there's a disagreement, but I know it will be resolved because PDP as a party, they have internal mechanism by way of to resolve internal issues. And I assure you, before the election, we still have about 5 months or so.
I don't think that this particular issue has defied your internal mechanism for conflict resolution.
It hasn't. It hasn't anyway. He hasn't. The only thing is that, look, yes, definitely some people will be affected by this wrangling. Some people will think this party is not organized. Some people will think it's just individuals. Wike, and the issue now is between Wike. As far as I'm concerned, the major concern now is the chairman must go. The chairman must go. So if the chairman is not going now, it will be after the election they can bring it up again. And then, look, having one election, it's time for us to organize our ESCOs because it will not be treated in one particular region. I think that will happen thereafter. Probably that will happen, but it will not make any meaningful meaning for anybody to say, chairman, go and resign now, then put acting chairman. When election is approaching, it will be difficult to control.
Are you saying that without Iyorchia Ayu as your substantive chairman, that your party cannot win elections?
I'm not saying so. I'm not saying so. I'm talking about, I just told you that, look, if the chairman resigns today, other offices will be affected. Other offices will be affected. Except if he resigns and there's no election conducted thereafter. The chairman the person that will take seat as acting chairman is still a northerner. So it hasn't changed anything. So that's why I say, let's wait till election is concluded. And if eventually the candidate wins, then we they can now talk about a reorganization of it. You see, it's about interest. What's happening is about interest. Everybody just want to negotiate and know where they want to go. It's not as if they want to do anything that will cripple the party. Governor Wike has done a lot for PDP. He has done a lot for to promote the party, and I will not see him stand out and try to destroy what he has built. He won't do that. I assure you.
Let me ask you about your thought on how, what's your thought on how the national chairman has handled this issue so far? There were earlier on, it was just Wike's grievances, as it were, was about how he felt betrayed during the PDP primaries. He didn't even mention the national chairman. And now we're seeing that there is now bickering between himself and the national chairman. What's your thought on how the national chairman has handled the issue of this conflict resolution in your party?
I am not happy the way the chairman handled it. I do not expect that chairman will be responding to Wike in that manner. Because we are trying to resolve issue. You are the head of the family. You don't join issue with them. You don't join issue. I remember the first day the chairman made a wrong statement was when the day after the election, the primary, where they were somewhere receiving a tambua, where they say you are the hero of the party. So that one shows that he is not acting very well, because it shows biasness as far as I'm concerned. It shows that he is biased.
And shouldn't that be the point where people should have said just resign? Because when you make, I'm going by your word, when you make a statement like that, like you said, it shows bias for a particular candidate, and a national chairman shouldn't show any level of bias. Shouldn't that be the reason why, or at that point, he should have resigned?
If he resigned, who will take over? The Northerner. So, and what they are fighting for is that they don't want all the position to go to a particular region. And I am telling you that if he resigns today, by virtue of our Constitution, Section 45, Subsection 2, it says the deputy national chairman from the region where he comes from will be the one to take over, pending when a new convention will be held. And I tell you, it will not, a party who wants to conduct election, participate in the election, will not now be organizing for a convention to change.
But let me ask you, do you think that the major issue here is because he's from a particular region, or just because of that statement he made? Because when you check the first time he was announced, all the governors, I think he was making a statement, and all the governors rallied around him. Governor Wike was there, Otom was there, the governor of Edo State, Obaseki was there. In fact, all the governors of the PDP were around him, were showing support and solidarity when he was making that statement. So now to see how some of them have turned around saying resign, doesn't that show you that it might not just be a region thing, that it might just be that they think that he's biased and should step down?
There are personal issues in it, which I don't know. Because probably, you remember the Governor Wike and co were the one who wanted the Secondo to go that time. And after, when he left, they were the one who supported this particular chairman to be there. Everybody, it's a game. Probably they were thinking if we have a chairman from the north, anybody from north will not contest the presidential election again. Probably. Maybe that was their thinking. Probably they have an arrangement with the chairman, Ayu, to say, look, if you win, you do this for us, or you do that for us. Probably he's not doing it. Probably they're angry by now. Because you see, immediately after the primary, Governor Wike was not saying this. It was after the election of the nomination of the vice president that I began to make some statements. Those who caused these people are those who are responding to his claim. Governor Otom started it when he addressed the press and said they had a committee, and the committee decided it should be Wike, which is not correct. Which is not correct, because and at that time when those statements were made, some people responded, abusing them or calling them names, which I think is not proper.
Well, he was part of that committee, so shouldn't he be in the best position to say exactly what played out in that committee?
Even if you set up a committee, let's even agree, there are so a lot of consultation. And the presidential candidate did not say, go and give me one person to be my vice president. He said, give me, let me screen people who I can use. And there's 3 people who are brought up. And he picked one among the 3. So I do not see where election was held and where somebody else was said, look, this is the person we're giving to. It was by arrangement. The picking of vice presidential candidates is discretion of the what's it called, of the presidential candidate in conjunction with the party. So he decided to say, look, this is the person that I want to work with, and he has a choice. If you are saying that, look, only Governor Wike name was presented to him and decided to say, no, I ignore it, without even consulting, because that's one of the reasons why he says he's angry, that he was not consulted when he was not picked. That he should have been told that, look, we are not going to pick you. We are picking so person. That he didn't know about it. So that is his anger in a way. And like I said, it's politics. It's about interest. Everybody's just trying to protect their interest. If you see one of their demands that all their caucus should be given, they should be assured of positions. So it shows that.
Is that demand in the open, or is something you're privy to?
It's part of the demand that they're talking about. They want share. They want to know how what will be given to them in terms of position thereafter. And one of their demands. They were demanding that, according to them, they said they were also demanding that, look, articles you undertake that you won't spend more than one term. These are the issues that they're not realistic. It cannot happen that way. Yeah, the chairmanship position, being from the north, I think that would be an easy way to resolve thereafter. But they should wait till the election is concluded and PDP become the ruling party. That's when they will.
Let me ask you, because for a party that has democratic in its name, People's Democratic Party, you seem to have issues with your internal democracy. I can't remember any of your national chairman who has gone through the full term without removal from office or calls for removal from office. Why do you have that kind of crisis with your national structure?
It is not unusual to have crisis in a party. Not only in the party.
It is very
you have so many people.
Mr. Tunji, it is very unusual when it becomes really consistent that every time you have a national chairman, he just doesn't complete his term.
It doesn't matter. If he's not performing, it can be removed. If he's not performing, it can be removed. You see, the point I'm saying, I'm trying to raise is that, look, the fact that there's a disagreement now does not mean the party is in disarray. The party is not in disarray. The issue will be resolved, like I said earlier on. And then the position that's being held by the chairman now, he has a mandate of 4 years. I'm not saying, based on what is on ground now, I'm not saying he should complete his 4 years. Because the circumstance leads to it. And probably this is one of the reasons why most of them have been changed for political interest, and then to be able to equity, fairness, and justice, which I think it will be resolved thereafter. No, it's difficult.
Nigerians are Nigerians sometimes on social media and even just in-person conversations have expressed some level of disappointment with your party because of the role that you have played as the opposition. They don't think that you have played that role well. They think that you have been a rather docile opposition compared to when PDP was in power and APC became the opposition, that APC was a more vibrant opposition that you have the PDP today. And when you now look at these internal wranglings within your party, how do you think that plays in the psychology of the voter?
You see, like I said, when you have a group of people from different community, from different areas, there will be disagreements. How you will resolve disagreement is what matters. Yes, the PDP may not be doing well in the opposition according to you, probably because
not according to me, according to Nigerians.
Probably they've not been in the opposition before, and probably the APC that
you've had 8 years of being the opposition, even if you've not done opposition for 16 years, but you've been there for 8 years. It's 2015.
It's not that easy to adopt.
And Nigerians don't think you've done well.
Don't worry. By 2023, APC will go back to its position so that we'll be able to do opposition very well, and the PDP will be in charge. Maybe probably we don't know how to.
And that's what I'm asking you. How do you think?
They know how to.
How do you think the voter today in Nigeria sees your party? How do you think all of these issues, bearing in mind that you also had Nigerians were also very displeased with how you did not zone your presidency, and that you have another candidate as your another person as your presidential candidate. They were really looking forward to the zoning. That did not happen, and there was disappointment. And then they don't also think that you have played your role well as your position because of where we are today. You have not been vocal about the issues of this country. And then again, how do you think that all of these issues play in the psychology of the voter? How does the average voter in Nigeria see the PDP?
It don't play any major role in their mind, because except those who don't understand politics. By PDP as a party, they have enough structure to resolve all these issues. Like I tell you, the issue on ground is normal. It's normal. There must be disagreements, and it will be resolved thereafter. You see, PDP are not good in opposition, just like you said, according to you. APC, that is good in opposition, will be back in 2023 to that opposition, so that we'll be able to play its role very well. PDP is not used to opposition. They are used to ruling the country. And then let me correct an impression. The Sony people are talking about, I don't see that is not in a part. They've not done anything contrary to the position of the PDP. And I'm talking about the PDP now. They're allowing Atiku to contest, another to contest. It's not contrary to the position of our constitution. The equity, the Sony we are talking about was at that time when they were in party, where we are in party in government. Is that look, since we are in government, if a president from south rules 4 years or 8 years, another one will be from the other part of the country. As it is today, let's even look at it very clearly. The last president from the PDP is from the south. So if I even look at Sony, we are talking about the Sony position, it's not even be to the south. It should be to the north. It should be, because the last president from PDP is from the south. And some people are mixing the party constitution with Nigeria. The fact that the current president is from the north does not affect the PDP. The constitution regarding Sony is a PDP affair. So if you are looking at whether or not it should be sown, you look at who was the last president from PDP, and that was what's it called? Goodluck Jonathan. So I've not seen them do anything that is not in line with the constitution, as people are claiming, because it's erroneous for people to say they betray their constitution, they do not follow their constitution. It's not correct. It's not correct. There's nothing in the constitution that says, look, you must go to the north, you must go to the south or whatever. What they say is that the objective of the party must be done in a way, in choosing political office and other, you put what that will create fairness, equity, and justice. And the equity and justice in this case is that it should go to the north. And probably it was not sown. It was an election. It wasn't sown, it was an election. And Alhaji Atiku Abubakar won the election. So, and Governor Wike promised to abide by the result and to support any candidate that wins the election. So I don't know what has changed. That Governor Wike is angry, probably because of the vice presidential ticket that he was not able to get. But like I said, it's erroneous for anybody to say PDP as a party has betrayed its constitution, has violated its constitution. It is not correct. And that has to sink into the head of our people. Nigerian constitution is not PDP constitution. Nigeria president today from APC is a PDP, APC man. That does not mean the other parties will now have to say, look, since we have a PDP, APC man in government, or anybody in other parties should bring anybody from the north. It should be from this.
But shouldn't PDP also have a respect? And I know that this is a forgone issue, but just because you mentioned it, shouldn't PDP have also respected the unspoken and unwritten Nigerian arrangement? Shouldn't the Nigerian arrangement also supersede the party arrangement? In the Nigerian arrangement, which is unwritten, just hold on, which is unwritten, but we have always followed, which is the fact that if we'll have a president from the north, the next president, whether he serves 8 years or how many years, the next president should come from the south. It's an unwritten arrangement that has kept this country going for years. And many people do not believe that the PDP broke that arrangement.
I remember by who? That arrangement by who? By the PDP. It's a party. The arrangement from PDP arrangement is not a Nigerian arrangement. It's not in our constitution. The arrangement we are talking about is an understanding within the party, not outside the party. So are you going to say other party that's not PDP should not field a candidate from the north just because we have a president as president for now that is from the north? It wasn't when President Buhari became the president. It wasn't shown to the north. It was contested, and he won. And like I said later on, the Sony issue is not. There is nothing that PDP has done to violate its constitution. It's normal.
Anyway, we're way past the zoning issue because, I mean, you already have your presidential candidate.
No, but I want to correct the impression. Because some people are always talking about it, that they betrayed their constitution, they violated their constitution. There is no violation of any constitution. There is none. Because the last president from PDP, from PDP is from the south. So it's the next person to come to hold, it should be from the north. And which is what has happened. And it's not as if it was shown there. It was an election in which so many people contested. We have about 4 or 5 candidates from the south. We have from the north. And Alhaji Atiku Abubakar won the election. So it's not as if they say, now give it to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar as a candidate of the party. That would when it become unfair to say, look, we sort out and giving it to Atiku. But it was election, was conducted. Everybody participated. There was no, they didn't say they will not participate just because, what's it called? The candidate from the north are part of the race. They did not say that. But like I said earlier on again, the issue has to do with interest, personal interest. People just want to negotiate, to say, look, where are we going to belong after the election? Because some people are aware that, look, they know who and who work for who and who. And so, so as not to be victimized, they want to settle scores so that to know where and where the thing will come from. Which I think is also premature.
The campaign starts on September the 28th, and you don't have a presidential campaign council yet, or the people you have basically right now acting, because we understand, from the understanding we have, is that you're waiting for this, your party is waiting for these issues to be resolved before you form your campaign council. If this issue is not resolved before then, what happens?
It may not be in the open, but I'm very sure names will have been penciled down. Names will have been penciled down to say, look, this is how it's going to be. They are just waiting for those caucus. You know, it's important to wait to see how it will be resolved so that other people from other caucus will be co-opted into the system so that everybody will be carried along. I think that's what they're doing. I'm very sure names will have been written down. So these are the council, these are the campaign committee, these are this and that. But as it is today, you may not know. I mean, you may not know because but I know the party will not sit down, fold their hands and say, until so thing happen. That's when maybe it has not been announced. They will, and I'm not aware that other parties too, apart from the DG, they've announced, particularly APC, the DG and maybe the publicity PRO or what a spokesperson. Nothing has been done again. Nothing has been done. It's not only PDP. The APC has not constructed its campaign team.
The PDP has not even named anyone at all. But apart from the spokespersons that you have named, but at least they even have a DG, you don't. And we understand that they were waiting for this issue to be resolved so that possibly Wike can be the DG of that council. That's the understanding we have. We don't know how true that is. But again,
that's another rumor that will cause a problem thereafter.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you. If this issue is not resolved before then, and then you go ahead to form your presidential campaign council, isn't that then clear that the PDP has decided to say, look, with or without Wike, we are forging ahead?
Definitely, if there is no way forward regarding the settlement of the issue, the party will be forced to continue without them. You will recall also that in 2019, with Wike with us, with some of those governors with us, PDP still lost election. So it means that they are not infallible. I'm not saying they cannot do, they don't have their value. Then without them, party will move. The party is bigger than individual.
Did he not deliver his state?
Yeah, he did. He did. And he will also deliver the state today, in 2023. It will be delivered, without Governor Wike. And I assure you that Governor Wike will not leave the party. He will not destroy what he built. Though party also beat him, and he also built the party in a way, contributed immensely. And I'm sure he will not deliberately destroy the house for himself.
But do you agree that your party is now in factions?
There's no faction. There's no faction. It's caucus. In politics, there must be caucus. You have a lot of caucus in politics. People will belong to one group or the other. It's normal. It's normal. That's why you hear in Lagos, you say mandate group, clinical group. That does not mean there's a division. There's no division. You have caucus.
But if you have you can have your caucus if of course people always have their interest group. It's whether in politics or anywhere in life you always have. Sometimes we call it the clique. But when you now have two different camps working on different interests within the same party, it shouldn't it then be said that you now have factions within your party?
That's not faction. You just said it. It's like it's caucus group. It's not, there are so many groups within the party. So many. It's not only the Wike's caucus or Atiku caucus or whatever. There are so many caucus in the party. So and it's normal. It's normal in any political system. People will align with each other. Those who believe that they can work together, they'll be talking together.
With different interests working against each other.
The purpose, all the working, they are working together is for the benefit of the party and for their own personal benefit as well. Everybody want to align himself to a particular caucus that you know that, look, if anything happen, I will not be forgotten. That's why they have caucus. You can't. It's normal. That's not a division as far as I'm concerned. It's not a division. We don't have two PDP. They are also part. They are still part of the PDP. They are not calling themselves PDP 2, PDP 3, or whatever. They are still PDP. So there is no division. There is no division as far as I'm concerned. If we have those caucus forming another party called PDP, just like we had in the former APC, new PDP. You remember? That's when you can say there's division. As it is today, there's no division, as far as I'm concerned.
Are you worried that it might get there?
It will not get there. I'm not worried because I trust PDP. PDP. They have the internal mechanism is there. It's not like a party that for 7 years or 8 years does not have a board of trustee. They don't have it. So PDP has been working in that manner. They've been resolving issues. Crises are being resolved. People did not even believe that our convention that produced what's it called? The current chairman will be held. They don't believe it. Well, and it went on free.
We are watching this drama and intrigue within your party, as it were. You're optimistic that it will be resolved, and you have also said that you can win with or without Wike. We're watching how that plays out. Thank you so much for talking to us, lawyer and member of the PDP, Tunji Abdulhammed.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.